Hello, I'm Victor Vogel. I have several books that I've published, and I want to take just a moment and I want to talk to you a little bit about those books. They're on interpersonal communication, and one of the books is on the Renaissance Leadership Odyssey book, is on leadership paradigm shift. So, whether you're reading the one on leadership paradigm shift, which is about our need to change the whole structure of how we look at leadership and how we process leadership within an organization. And I don't want to get into that because the purpose of this video isn't to talk about that. But whether you're looking at that book or you're looking at the 5 other books that I've published on interpersonal communication, 3 of them are ebooks that focus on the importance of interpersonal communication, the impact and the relationship between emotional intelligence and interpersonal communication. And the one area that is probably most pronounced in terms of misinterpretation or of clarity of messages is understanding the language of the body, which is about nonverbal communication and the importance of nonverbal communication in systems. So these processes of communication and their association with the psychological aspect of interrelationships is an important factor for you to understand. So I wrote these books, both the leadership book and the communication books, to really help reinforce the point that we do need to change how we're dealing with leadership and the importance, the absolute essential need to be able to master interpersonal communication as part of that leadership change process. Now, so these books are textbooks. They were written to support a training program I put together that is sort of like it's kind of a semi-self-paced training program. It's 17 weeks long, and there are exercises that you need to do during the week. There are questions you need to ask, and then there's a journaling aspect that goes with that. So attached to every one of these 3 books on communication I did are workbooks that you get at no charge that you use to work through and process the information you learned in the book itself. Now, I chose ebooks for a reason. There's a whole video I have on that you can go to on my YouTube channel and see it. And it talks about why I feel like ebooks is the best way to present this information versus, say, a hard copy or a paperback or even an audio book. There's some advantages over all 3 of those other books in terms of how you assimilate this information, how you get it and how you process it. So within this workbook that goes with the book are some questions that you need to answer or things you need to look at and understand. So as you read the book, what I tell people to do is read the book all the way through first. Just don't worry about going to the links in the book or watching any videos I might happen to have in the book or whatever. Just read the book all the way through so you get the general gist of what I'm trying to tell you in the book. Then put it down and don't mess around with it. Give it a little time for your subconscious mind to work on it. And then go back to it and take it chapter by chapter and begin to use the workbook with the book. and answer and respond to those questions in the workbook. And they're going to walk you through some processes that require you to go out and look at some things and look at some observations relative to what was discussed in that chapter. And so you will have to go through an exercise, a series of exercise. It also provides sort of a method in there. It's a place for you to be able to journal as you go along, what you discover, your thoughts about what you're thinking while you're going through and discovering. These are all pretty important for solidifying your mind how you might be able to effectively use this information to enhance your ability to communicate more effectively, consequently being more influential with people, even to the point of helping them regulate how they need to behave in certain situations as a leader. So I just wanted you to know that that's out there, that this material comes with a workbook to help you work through the processes. Now, so how do you do these exercises? Well, you could work and observe situations in your family, with your spouse or with your children or whoever it may be. I kind of steer clear of that because I'm not sure any of us communicate the same way within that real close-knit environment than we do with other people outside of that environment. So a leader who tries to learn this stuff without going to their employees and tries to use their family might be getting a tinted view of how it operates because you're probably not communicating the same way with those that you love than those that you sort of interface with and don't have that deep attachment to. So I don't recommend practicing or observing or processing the information from a learning perspective. Now, once you learn it, once you understand it, you have it together, then yes, you can apply it in this family situation. And you probably are going to behave a little differently than you did before you learned this information. But there are ways. You can observe other people whenever you happen to be out amongst them, in a mall, in a restaurant, in a lounge or a bar, in a park, wherever people are together, and you can observe behaviors and you happen to be able to hear what might be going on in a conversation between two people and observing their nonverbal signals and cues at the same time. Now, that it can happen, and it may feel uncomfortable that you're eavesdropping, but you're not really doing it for the purpose of trying to collect negative information on somebody. You're just trying to see if you can see what you learned in this chapter is actually happening and what are the consequences of how they use or don't use what you have learned from your readings. And then journaling that, take your notes with you and I've set it up so you can do the journaling on your phone. It's in a PDF format and you can actually just do it right there on your phone. So you could actually observe this situation and then go in there and kind of journal what you saw and your thoughts and about it. And that's kind of what's necessary for your brain to process the logic that's associated with this taking place. That also allows you, when you're sleeping at night or you're relaxed and you're out walking and you're not thinking about much of anything, your subconscious is still processing that information. And that's where your memory will begin to pick it up. And then you'll begin to recognize how that is applying to what you're doing when you're talking to somebody. You'll begin to be able to recognize your own behavior a little more effectively. So these books that I wrote have a lot of good, powerful information in them. They're not all you need to know about those information. That's why you have links to other resources to go look at, and they're a vast amount of information on each of these areas that I'm pointing you to. I'm just trying to organize it in a way for you so it makes structural sense to you as a leader, how these things apply to you, so you can get a chance to practice them and see them. Now, the other place that is really a good opportunity, and you can do without feeling uncomfortable about observing people in the open, are things like movies or situations, films, TV series, movies. I found those extremely beneficial because movies are normally premised on, and writers normally write them from real life experiences or what they perceive will be real life experiences. So you often see the same real emotions taking place in discussions between two people. And what's really cool about that, with the pause and start and rewind and look at, you can really watch something happen and go, well, I think I saw this nonverbal cue. This is one of those areas where what the guy was saying to the girl or whatever in the discussion was incongruent. What he was saying, his nonverbal signals were telling her something different, and she was catching at that. She was saying, I think you're lying to me, kind of a nonverbal look or cue back, sort of feedback signal back, and that person isn't detecting it. I mean, you can literally have those kinds of thought processes, review the information. You can rewind it, watch it play through again, try to get the feel. The more you do that, the more you practice that, the more you're going to sense it and feel it in your real life situations. It's like basketball, if you're shooting there's a reason your coach has you standing on the line shooting 3 points, extra points, foul shots, time after time after time from that mark on the floor. Because once you do this, your mind is developing what we call neuroplasticity. It's developing these patterns, and the more you do it, the more that pattern begins to formulate and stick, and the easier it is for you to get a feel of exactly when that ball leaves your hand and how you throw it. That's the same way as you practice these skills of observing nonverbal behaviors versus verbal language, or you happen to see something and you're saying, this is a feedback situation. Is that person really actively listening? By take into account what the other person's nonverbal cues are saying to them, and then regulating that behavior effectively. So as you start these, it's going to be uncomfortable and difficult, as it is when you're learning to shoot the foul shots. You're not going to be great at that in the beginning, but the more you practice it, the more you're involved, the more you engage yourself in it, the more comfortable it's going to be, the more accurate you're going to be in terms of applying these interpersonal communication techniques to create a better connection and regulate and improve your behavior with others. This is going to make you give you the capacity to be more influential, more persuasive in your dialogues or your discussions. So I just wanted to point this out. That's the purpose of the books, is to give you the information. You have to internalize it and personalize it yourself through these exercises, and that's the purpose I wrote the workbooks for, was to give you these opportunities. Now, you can do them at work. I mean, I'm not saying you can't. You can go to restaurants or would actually observe real life situations where the opportunity presents itself and you don't seem to be intrusive on anybody. When I do these, oftentimes will be at a bar, and I'll be sitting in a bar, and I'll be next to, because you're in a close quarter environment, and you can actually hear discussions, whether you want to hear them or not. You're hearing them, you're seeing how people are reacting. So you can do these things and not be intrusive or violate people's privacy in that, because that's not your intention. Your intention is to see whether you are picking up on the kinds of communication cues that are going on in that conversation, and what can you discover about what's right or wrong about how those people were interfacing and interacting, and the result of that, so the situation is you got two people talking to each other. The behaviors are they're communicating. There's both verbal and nonverbal communication. There are no massive barriers, although you could have something like a loudness issue that might keep you from hearing everything. So that could be a barrier you have to consider. So see, you can work in all of the things that I present to you in these books as issues to communicating effectively. You could get a chance to practice these. And then, of course, the result, the situation, behavior, and result process, as you look at that result, what happened? Were the people seeming to understand each other and connecting, or did the person get up and go, "Nice talking with you, I'll see you later"? What was the result of that interaction? You can actually put those down in your notes and look at them from such. So I try to give you not only a journaling aspect, some information about, but also the process method that most behaviorists have used to observe these things and make conclusions and write books about them that are premised around what is the situation, what's going on, what actually happened, what was the action that was going on there, and then what was the result of that. So that situation, behavior, and results approach is a good process to look at that. So this is just to tell you that these books are for sale on my website. I want you to go to the website to buy the book. You get the PDF link right there. I have it set up through a group called PayHip, and they process the link for you. You get that link, and you're able to have that link on your phone wherever you go, so you have a digital reference wherever you go. It's one reason why I like electronic books. You have the digital reference. You have the links to that book inside your phone there anytime you want to go to them to kind of refresh your memory or use as a reference when you need it. So that's one reason why they're, so those books are there. And so you can buy them on my website. And the reason I do them on my website is, and why I want you to go there versus Amazon.com. I have them on Amazon.com. I'm really seriously thinking about taking them off of there because I'm not doing this in order to try and
Good morning, Vic. Today's date is September 24th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m.
My watch just went on, told me what the weather was.
66 degrees Fahrenheit and cloudy.
But the idea, now I gotta, so I can, there we go. Now, okay, now there's a barrier to communication right there. You just had an experience of a barrier. Okay, so I can use this as a method of helping you understand communication. What I should have done is realize that that alarm was going to go off and disable it before I got on the air with you. Okay, so that would have been a result that I need to log in my journal. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. These books are there, but I get a bigger portion of the profit for that book when you don't buy them through Amazon. Amazon takes a huge chunk of my knowledge, and they make a lot of money off of it. If you buy these books through my website, it's set up, yes, there's a percentage that comes out to PayHip, which I have to pay them to process the finances and everything, which is fine. It's not near the chunk that Amazon takes out, or Apple, or somebody else who takes a percentage of it. Now, they have a wider breadth, yes, and the books sell out there, but I'm trying to guide people to the website. And also, the workbooks aren't on Amazon. I'm not publishing the workbooks to go with the books on Amazon. The only place you can get the workbook with the book is on my website. So go to www.victorvogel, V-O-G-E-L, Victor Vogel, www.victorvogel, one word, .com. And my books are all right there. They're easy. You punch on the buy now or buy here, and it'll take you to the PayHib. It'll give you the PDF. If you don't get that for some reason, or some for reason it doesn't work, it's asking for your email. You can email me and say I didn't get it, and I'll make sure you get that link, and I'll give you, maybe if you buy one book, and because of that, I'll give you the link to another book. Okay, because it messed up. There's a lot I can do on my own website that I can't do on Amazon.com. So I'm just telling you, please go to these and use these books. They will help you. I have tried to make it as easy as possible, but you will have to do the work. You can't just read the book and be good at it. That's not the way textbooks work. It's not the way learning works. That's, all these books are out there to give you examples and tips. You still have to go out there and do the work. What I've tried to do is give you some opportunities of how to go out there and do that practice. And one of them is watching videos and films that you are already doing on Netflix and Amazon and Paramount Plus or any of the other places you haven't boycotted for some reason. These are things that you can learn and grow from. So there you go. You got all the information. Buy the books. Go buy the books. Just get started. You'll like it when you're a better communicator. It also gets you off of social media. Yeah, social media is not so social anymore, is what I say. So stop scrolling, start doing.